G'day everybody, welcome back to the show. For those of you who don't know who we are, I represent several teams of very, very talented astral projectors, and we fly around at night trying to shut down the cabal and its non-physical allies. And we've been very, very successful. There's this, video that will explain more about the precursors that led this group to existence. Now, for those of you who've been watching closely, we have had some major victories recently, and we have just punched a massive hole in the capabilities of the dark side to perform anything on the Earth. We're very, very pleased to announce that today's team, one of the strongest teams we've fielded, dismantled the dark side's astral propaganda infrastructure. So the official fiction, the narrative that they keep spinning, the utter nonsense that they're telling us, most recently about the great health crisis of 2020. But, if you go back a few years about the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan, 9/11, Pearl Harbor, the invasion of Vietnam, like every segment of history, every event, the official fiction is just misleading. The official story, the narrative is just misleading. They are actively writing history, ignoring events, and adding others that never occurred. And so this narrative that they've been pushing, this story that everybody's supposed to accept, might be easiest to say, when they're tooting their horn, we've taken the horn off them. It was a huge endeavor that involved many, many layers of lies. Kind of like the Russian nesting dolls. After we cut through this layer, then there was another, then there was another, then there was another. It took a large team of very talented people for 2 hours to pull it apart. It was a big job because they've invested so much in it. And like all psychopaths, it is their social prestige and the official narrative about them that protects them the most. It's their reputation that protects them from a lot of the problems that they cause for themselves. And what we've done is we've taken away their capacity to lie to people, to continue to veneer over their crimes. Now, we did, for those of you who were watching recently, the exploitation infrastructure that we took down, it's this video here. That was the fuel center, that was the fuel source, that was all of the power that they use, all of the magical fuel that they use to extend themselves in the way they do. Now, we destroyed a lot of their infrastructure, which is about their savings or their loosh. And their loosh is what they use to fuel the spells that manipulate humanity, that tell the story, that make the official fiction believable, or believed might be a better word. Now that we've taken that fuel off them, they cannot pay for the spells. They cannot get it done. And since we've dismantled some key infrastructure of theirs, the likelihood that they can recreate it without that deposit of loosh is about zero. And so right now you're about to see things begin to topple. Today is January 19, and I think we're reaching a turning point. We did have a prolonged interview with Mother Gaia just beforehand, and she says that the work that we are doing is changing all of humanity's timeline. It's bending what's possible. And I, for one, think it's in a positive way. Like, for the first time, Earth humans are influencing the future of Earth humanity. It's a big deal. We have been manipulated and lied to and coddled and killed and all enslaved, an unlimited amount of drama for all of our known history. And what our team is doing now, once we take apart some of the infrastructure that they use to do that, now we get to choose a different timeline for humanity. And I think we're going to have fun with it too. Now, I don't think we're finished at all. And right now, our team is discussing the possibility of eliminating all of demonkind. Is that significant? Damn right it is. Because what the Cabal depends on is their ability to use sacrifice magic to pay demons to do things, to make things the way they want them. That's the basic facility of their spells. That's the basic procedure. Kill something, the life force energy goes to the demon, and he spends about half of it on getting your job done. And if we destroy demon kind, you know what happens? Their black magic skills are worthless. Their knowledge is worthless because there's nobody on the other side of the veil to receive their sacrifice. And the task they do about getting people off their back and covering their tracks and making sure this person dies and making sure they can steal this money, over. Making sure they can manipulate people or get into people's heads, those demons cannot perform for them any longer. The symbiosis between the human cabal and demon kind, well, we can destroy one of them, these teams. And that's what we're discussing right now. Are we willing to do that? Is it feasible, moral, and possible? And are we willing to invest the time and effort in doing that? And the risks of blowback that are obvious. But I'm quite excited that that's where our teams are at. That's what we're talking about now. So in bad news, we are unable to make contact with those, the second Pleiadian faction any longer. They've disappeared into the woodwork, and we can only assume it's for security purposes and their own safety that they're not talking to us. I think, which tells us a couple of things, which means that the dark side or the intergalactic AI is actually dominant in their society, or none of what we're talking about makes sense. And those guys have to disappear back into the woodwork to protect their lives if they've not already been taken. We don't know. However, what Gaia says is that we are breaking the mold, we are breaking the system that has been applied to hundreds of worlds that we are aware of, to enslave them. And in the last stages of humanity's enslavement, it seems that we've been able to avoid a few of the key things that they would have liked to have done to create the control state. All that being said, now my course starts on January 23. If you want to be doing this sort of work yourself, I train people from zero to the tippity top of the game, and you are cordially invited to join us in these group missions. We already have graduate students flying these missions with us. Also, I invite you to watch my unique series where we interview the demon lords of the 7 deadly sins. And they tell some fascinating stories, and they tell us so much about demonic culture, demonic attitude, and how they manipulate humanity. It is fascinating. Also stay tuned, because we'll be doing the next series on all the drugs that the demon lords that run all the drugs that are available in the world. And also the one after that is demonic management. And very, very soon, my book on food will be coming out as well. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Press the button, like the video, and subscribe to my show, because without being funny about it, without being funny about it, our teams are doing something unique and beneficial for all humanity. And it only takes me about 10 or 15 minutes to say what we did, instead of the usual hippie waffle and word salad, which takes about an hour. You're talking to someone who's spiritual and a straight shooter. Yeah, may the force be with you all. Love to you all, and may the force be with you. Bye for now.